Hello students, this is Coach Holliday, and today we're going to look at slope as rate of change. Now this is just a continuation basically of our direct variation as rate of change that we did in the last lesson. So go ahead and take out your notes and let's get started. Alright, the first thing we need to know is what is this term slope. All slope does, it measures the steepness of a line. Just how steep a line is. Line could be that steep, or it could be that steep, now it's steeper, or it could be that steep, which isn't as steep. Okay, it's the rate of vertical change to horizontal change. Remember, vertical is up and down, which would be our y, and horizontal is left and right, which would be our x. Okay, so to find the slope, all we do is we have our vertical change and divide it by our horizontal change. Or another way we could write that we've done in the past is delta y over delta x. Remember the change in y over the change in x. Now this, in our last lesson, we call the constant of variation. Alright, so slope and constant of variation are the same thing. And if you remember, the variable we assigned to this was the letter m. Okay? So slope, constant of variation mean the same exact thing. Okay, now there's 4 types of slope. And I'm going to have you watch a little short video about Slope Dude, and he's going to give you some information about the 4 types of slope. See if you can fill in what each of these types of slope are as you watch that video. And then we'll come back.
Welcome to the adventure of Slope Dude. Meet Slope Dude. He loves to ski. We are going to follow him, and he'll teach us some important aspects of slope. This is the course he's skiing today. Again, what he says will teach us about slope. You need to remember that Slope Dude always skis toward the right or eastward. When he starts out, he's going uphill. It's hard work. He says puff, puff, positive as he goes up the mountainside. Puff, puff, positive. Puff, puff, positive. Puff, puff, positive. Now he's at the top. It was puff, puff, positive all the way up the mountain. But now he can look forward to the downhill. On the way down the mountain, he says, nice, negative, nice, negative. And now, after the downhill, he's in for the hardest part of the ski run, the long, flat part. He says, this is zero fun. This is zero fun. This is zero fun. This is zero fun. And as he finishes the flat part, he doesn't see well ahead, and all of a sudden, he comes to the edge of a cliff. It's straight down. So frightened is he that he says the worst curse word possible in math and in algebra. Undefined. This has been the Adventure of Slope Dude. Remember always what he said during his ski trip. Up the hill or up the slope, he said, puff, puff, positive. On his downhill run, he said, nice, negative. On the long, flat part of the course, he said, this is zero fun. And finally, when he went over the vertical cliff and went straight down, he yelled the worst curse word of math and algebra. Undefined! The uphill is a slope with a positive number. The downhill is a slope with a negative number. The flat part is a slope of 0. And the straight up and down or vertical part is undefined. This has been the Adventure of Slope Dude. Thanks for viewing.
Okay, so I hope you learned from Slope Dude that the 4 types of slope, where I have a line that goes up from left to right, is positive. Going down from left to right is negative. If it's horizontal line, there's a 0 slope. It's the number 0. And a vertical line, we're in trouble there. and that's undefined. It's the least favorite math term, or we could say it's the biggest math curse word. Alright, now let's use what we know here. We're going to look at actually how do we find the slope if I'm giving you 2 points on the line. So let's continue with our notes. And what we're going to do is we want to find the slope between each of these sets of points. So the first points I'm going to look at are points C and D. C and D. Now if I were to draw a line through those points, alright, can't draw a very good freehand line here. If I were to draw a line through those points, we'll know what the slope of this is. Now notice it goes down from left to right, so I know it's going to be negative, alright, or I'm thinking it's going to be a negative slope. Okay, so here's how I find the slope. I just start at point C, and I'm going to do the vertical change, which is my delta y, and divide that by the horizontal change, which is my delta x. So my vertical change, I go down from point C to D. I'm going to go down 3 spaces, so that's negative 3. I'm going to go to the right 3 spaces, that's positive 3. My vertical was negative 3. My horizontal was positive 3. When I divide that out or reduce it, I just get negative 1. And it makes sense that it's negative because it goes down from left to right. Let's look at the second example. In my second example, I'm going from points B to C. So B to C. And if I draw a rough line through there, I notice that my line is going up from left to right, so my slope should be positive. So to go from point B to C, I'm going to do my delta y, which how much does it go up and down? 1, 2, 3. So it goes up 3. Then how much does it go to horizontal? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it goes to the right 6, so that'd be positive 6. So my slope is positive 3 over positive 6, which reduces to positive 1/2. And it's positive, makes sense because it goes up from left to right. Okay, now let's look at example 3. In example 3, we're going from points E to F. Now look at this line that goes through those, and what kind of special line is that? Well, that's a vertical line, and if we notice, it's supposed to be undefined, a vertical line. So let's look at this and see how it goes. Let's do our delta y first of all to go from E to F. From E to F, I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm going down 13 or negative 13. That's my delta y. Now I'm not going over at all, so my left and right is 0. So my delta y is negative 13. It's going down 13. My delta x, it doesn't move left or right, so it's going to be 0. And if you take your calculator and you divide negative 13 by 0, you'll get an error. That error means that it's undefined. We're not allowed to divide by 0. So we just say that this slope is undefined. Remember, the slope of a vertical line is always going to be undefined. Alright, let's look at example. Alright, in example 4, we're going to find the slope from A to E. From A to E. I'm going to draw my line, and notice that this is going to be a line that goes up from left to right, so it should be positive. You take a moment and see if you can write the slope of this one. Alright, so in doing this one, we actually go up 1, and then we go over 12. Going up 1 is plus 1, to the right 12 is plus 12, so I get 1 over 12, and it is positive. Let's look at B and D now. This next example. I'm going to draw my line through those points. Notice this is a horizontal line, so I'm hoping that my slope is 0. Remember, horizontal line has a slope of 0. So my delta y, I don't go up at all. So my delta y is 0. It doesn't matter what my delta x is. Anything that's anytime I divide 0 by any number, the answer is going to be 0. Alright, my delta x would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But 0 over 9 is just 0. Okay, my last one, B to F. So I'm going to go from point B to F, from B to F. I'm going to draw just my rough line. Notice that goes down from left to right, so it should be negative. And I'm going to go down. My delta y is going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's down 6. My delta x is over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's the right 11. So negative 6 over 11. And that's not going to reduce. So I'm just going to leave it negative 6 over 11. Okay, hopefully that made sense to you. You're going to get some more practice on this in class. Make sure you complete the WISC, and we'll see you in class.